This is a supplement to our May 11th video, of course, after the close. This morning, as we anticipated the drop, what we hadn't really done our homework on was the low. We expected the drop, but I did not really do a good job of preparing for where this market was likely going to be going to. But had I done my homework, it would have been a little bit more obvious. Because as we run a composite profile on the market activity since the low of the 25th, we see the low value area here at 82.68, and of course we dropped to 81.74, and so that would have really given us a pretty good heads up as to where we could expect this market to drop to. Now, why not include the 24th? That's even lower. Well, if you look at all of the activity, you see that that's not really a significant low. I mean, the low really is back here. I'll have to take that back a little further. And that low takes place really on the 13th at the close. So we're way down here on the 13th. Now, if we run a profile on that, we come up with completely different figures, but figures that don't really or wouldn't have given us any real benefit today. Oh, and incidentally, this is not this profile here is an honest profile, because that low is based upon the spread between the 25th of April and the 10th of May. That's the honest figure. Now, when we change this and bring it up to date, all right, you'll notice that that number is going to change and takes us, now let's make sure we got that right. Okay, all right. It didn't change actually very much. I thought it would have. All right, so that doesn't really change things considerably. But having done that homework, as you can see, it would have given us a little better feel for where the market was headed. Now, just as a supplement to running profiles, just go back here. And if we were to run this profile on the 25th, or pardon me, not the 25th, the 13th, when you do that, you got to make sure that you don't set your max precision to 2. Let me show you why. Let's get that date to be correct. Okay, number 1, you get an error message. That means that you're not going to get a full picture of the profile when you do this. Instead, you know, it looks something like, well, it looks just like this, which doesn't tell you much of anything. And that's because of limitations in TradeStation. So you've got to use a different setting here. Don't set this to 2 decimal points. Set it to 0, and now you've got more of a profile appearance, which is what you wanted in the first place. Okay, now, of course, as we run this, your low value is way down here at 49. And we've got our gaps in here, which, of course, everybody can see. So that's what that would look like, and it doesn't really help us a whole lot. And, of course, we now want to bring this date up to the last date on the chart. And that brings the low value area up just a smidgen. Now, if we take it all the way back, just so you know, to the 27th, again, we want to make sure that's not set to 2, otherwise we'll get an error. Make sure that's at 327. And this is the last date on the chart. And you see where that takes us. So indeed, we've got some repair to do right in this neighborhood at 77, and we're going to get there, but it just hasn't happened as of yet. So those are our 3 most recent and significant profiles. Let's run just one more. And if we read the profile from the 3rd, the low of the 3rd, then you can see the how relatively distorted this profile looks. This isn't very good. This is a little better, all right? Not particularly symmetrical, but that doesn't matter too much. But yet, certainly not. There's just, we've any way you cut this, you've got to see how this market must come down and start to fill in this area of a gap. It will do so. It's just been taking an awful long time for us to get there. All right. So I don't like that profile, but what is interesting about it, and I think this is significant for certainly tomorrow and perhaps into Monday, depending on how things go tomorrow, is we do have these areas of repair in here, all right? So you can anticipate, you can certainly anticipate that this area is going to be worked on tomorrow and perhaps into Monday, depending upon how things run in the overnight market. So anyway, just a footnote there, and make sure you're watching that area. Now on the ES, which we'll bring up here, you see those same areas of repair. Now let's take a look at this. And again, this is from the 3rd through the end of the chart, and then on the 25th through the end of the chart, it brought our low value area down to, or up to 79. All right, and of course that's where we closed, but that's including today. It was a little lower than that, if we did run the profile only through the 10th, but it would still have given us a reasonably good target. All right, and I suppose you want to see that, so let's just go ahead and do it. $78.25 instead of 79. Okay, so Now, good to watch these areas as we move forward. Now, before we finish this up, I just wanted to draw attention to the composite from the three. On May 3rd, if we run it from that start date through May 8th, all right, May 8th, just notice the areas of repair in here, all right. Now, this is the 9th, and we're starting on this date, and once again, just to keep everybody honest, there's the 8th. That's as far as we're running this. So the market opens up, and we've got this area right in here, and let me use this as a little better pointer. So right in here is the area of initial support where we've gained more volume. And you notice how the market bounced right off of just about that area. And this is the INX, keep in mind. All right, then we move up. Okay, how far up do we move? Okay, just a little bit above our area up here. Then we come back down again. The next area of correction is down in here. Okay, and where do we go? Right down into that area of low volume, and we move up again. And then when we finally come down to the close, we drop right through the upper value area into this area of correction. Now we have to bring this forward one day to get an idea of where the following day may find some area of repair. So we'll take this one step forward to the 9th. Run the numbers again. So we've run it through the 9th. And now we're looking at the 10th. So there's one upper level. And we opened there was our open just below. Okay, we were just below the upper value area. And as we drop through these areas of repair. Okay, we drop through those areas of repair, we continue on down, and then we begin to repair in here. Okay, and that's as low as she goes before this thing starts to take off. Now, you don't really see anything that's really obvious about that low, be that as it may. But as it rallies up, okay, we move all the way up into this area and start to repair up in here. Now again, nothing really all that clear in here other than the fact that we've gone up there to repair. Then as we drop back to the upper value area and we try to move a little higher. We don't really make it much. So all that we've done is to repair above this area, but we've got all this down here, all right? And then ultimately we got this low value area here based upon these dates. Now we take it forward one more day. So keeping in mind we've got this area of repair and moving down into this area of the low value area. We've got to move this forward one day in order to get an accurate picture of this. And see how much the low value area jumped up. Okay, so as we open today, we're just above the POC, and we quickly start to move down to this area of repair, which we succeed at doing, and then we drop even further and start working in this area down here. We've already discussed that low previously, but you can see how the area of repair was a potential target, particularly right in here, right? And I should say right in here and right in here. Particular areas for repair. So anticipating, you know, this market was going to drop, you certainly had these as potential targets, and a nice opportunity for making a respectable short from today. But now, as we move forward and the market started to climb up again, you know, it started to look for this area of repair, which it is yet to move into. Okay, we've still got that as a little bit of an area of repair to go. So now let's look at how this changes, and it may not change that much, as you're about to see. Not much change. So we've still got work to do down in here. So that's why we say, looks like tomorrow we're going to be moving down. Now we can certainly be moving up as well. We've got a lot of work to do in here. But this low at 85 is respectable, but certainly this area of repair. So depending upon what happens in the rest of the evening, we can anticipate tomorrow we're gonna move into this area and maybe up a little bit as well to repair these areas, just a few areas in here. So we've got a good range tomorrow to work with. It'll just depend upon, you know, where we open as to what direction we're liable to go in. So that's a brief recap for the activity of today, and hopefully helpful for tomorrow.